Hi, my name is Terry. I have 3 college degrees, including a master's degree from an Ivy League university. I'm fluent in 2 languages, and I have a commercial driver's license, which allows me to operate heavy trucks, and I still can't find a job. My girlfriend's been working at a fast food restaurant for the past 9 years, but what she really wants to do is become an elementary school teacher. So every day I'm going to be coming on here and telling you guys stories about things that I think are cool or interesting, and then I'm going to teach you a little bit of Spanish until I can earn enough money to send my girl to teaching school. So today we're talking about the famous artist Claude Monet. On November 14th, 1840, Louis Justine gave birth to a son named Oscar Claude. His parents referred to him as Oscar, but he would later become the widely known Claude Monet. His father was a shopkeeper and his mother was a singer, and this helped inspire his love for art. On April 1st, 1851, he was entered into a private boarding school. However, his family lived very close to the school, so he wasn't required to live on the campus. Now, the school was overcrowded, and the campus was cramped, so this was a luxury that other students wished for, to be able to come and go as they pleased, like he could. By his own admission, he wasn't a very good student. 50 years later, in an interview, he said, "I was naturally undisciplined. Even in my childhood, I could never be got to obey the rules. The school always felt like a prison. I could never resign myself to living there, even for 4 hours a day." He preferred instead to spend all his time playing outside. Despite the fact that he wasn't a good student, his school friends remember him as funny and of good character, and he was well liked by the other kids. Like Picasso, he would draw dramatic caricatures and exaggerated portraits of people. He handed them out as gifts to his classmates. But unlike Picasso, we don't have access to a lot of the early sketches he produced in his early childhood. The oldest sketchbook of his we have dates back to when he was about 17 years old. Monet, at the school, there was an excellent art teacher. He worked with famous artists before, and by all accounts, he was really good at being able to hold the attention of his students. But Monet just wasn't interested. He doesn't describe him as having any meaningful connection or as having had any meaningful impact on his life or his career. In his late teens, he dropped out of the boarding school, and his father allowed this, but he didn't support his dream of becoming a famous caricaturist. His mother died in 1857 on January 28th, and he would never hear her sing again. During this difficult time, he couldn't rely on his father for comfort because his father was still upset that he dropped out of school, and he largely considered him a failure. So he was alone during this difficult time in his life, and that was when his aunt stepped in. She was childless, and she herself had recently become a widow, so she had plenty of time to devote to the young Monet. She also painted, and she knew many other painters who had art studios that the boy could visit. Under her mentorship, he was allowed to continue pursuing his dream. His caricatures became very popular, and he started selling them to other kids. He was able to sell more than 100 of his drawings, and they were exhibited in local businesses on Sundays. Small crowds of townspeople would gather to laugh and admire his portraits. And he talked about how he would walk by the shop windows and pretend to sort of walk by casually and be uninterested in what was going on or what the crowd was saying. But secretly inside, he was beaming with pride and thrilled about the praise and the amusement that his work gave to people. So, the Spanish I'm going to be teaching you today is Me encanta dibujar. Me encanta dibujar. And what that means is, I love to draw. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we discuss the second part of Monet's story. If you like this video or you learned something new, drop a like down below. If you'd like to support this work that I do, there'll be a link to the Cashapp in the description box. And if you have a topic that you'd like to see me cover, drop a comment down below. We'll see you tomorrow.